Welcome to the On the Block podcast. We're your host. I'm Dory.
And I'm Khadeja.
And this is the show where we cover all things Big Brother behind the scenes and on the screen. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right.
So it's week 3.
Week
Sorry,
3.
I have some in my eyelash. Okay. So it's week 3, and it's been a tumultuous week, if you will. So, Khadeja, take it away. Bring us into the week. Who's HOH? What's happening? What's going on in that house?
All right. So, going into this week, as we know from last week, Hisam is public enemy number 1. He's who everyone is targeting. And with him not being able to participate in this HOH, this is the perfect time to get him out. So, in this competition, one at a time, the house guest goes up and take a shot with the ball down the slope. And at the bottom are little slots ranging from numbers 1 to, I believe, 54. And the house guest who receives the highest number is the winner of this week. And with that, our HOH this week was Miss Felicia. With a score of 54, she is the winner, which is, yes.
Round of applause for Miss Felicia. Because she said, don't count the oldies out. She said, don't count her out.
I'm not going to say it's shocking, but, we don't ever really see somebody, in this age group really shine like that. So it's really great to see Miss Felicia really playing this game. And from day one. Like, if they haven't started seeing her as a threat yet, they are stupid and they need to get on that. But with Miss Felicia winning this week HOH, Hisam still believing that he has the alliance of the professors in his back pocket. He's excited. He's comfortable. He doesn't think he's at risk at all. Direct quote from this man in one of his diary sessions after this competition. He even says, I know I'm not going to be nominated. I know I'm not even going to be used as a pawn. I am making it to week 4. This man is so sure that he is making it to week 4. And as we know from experience, that is the dumbest mindset you can ever have in this house. What does Julie tell these people all the damn time? What does she tell them?
I'm gonna have Blanco tell the people. What does Julie Chen tell these people? Expect the unexpected.
Why would you ever think you're safe? I don't care if this is your alliance. These people are here to play their own games. They're not here to keep Hisam safe. They're not here to keep a professor safe. Yes, you want to have a certain amount of loyalty to your alliance so they can get you far. But when when one of your alliance members step out of line, you're not going to throw your whole game to help them out. And Hisam, you may not know this, but you did entirely too much last week. Too much. And because of that, this is going to be your week. But, he doesn't know any of that. So as far as we're concerned, the house plans and the HOH's plan is going to go perfectly because he has no idea what's coming towards him. So because this is a backdoor, they have to have 2 nominees on the block, which are what we call pawns. People that are nominated without any intentions of going home. So they're either going to get pulled off the block, or when eviction night comes, they're not going to really see any votes and they're going to be safe. So, Dory, let us know how Miss Felicia decides who she should use as her pawns.
Yeah, so basically, it's just a repeat of last week. Cam, people don't like him. People do like him, but don't know where he's aligned. So he's kind of a given to be on the block. And he's a good option to send out in case a flip were to happen again.
Yes.
He's the best option. And Jag is starting to become a target for people. And honestly, I'm not understanding why. I feel like, no offense, Jag is one of the weaker players. So why people have such a thing against Jag, I'm still trying to understand myself.
I think it's just his affiliation with Riley. It's him and, Riley was a target. And because him and Matt weren't really on board. Like, that's why people are always like, be careful how much effort you put into helping somebody stay, because you never know the precautions for what's going to happen next week. Because Jag was like, Riley's my number 1, she's my girl. People saw that, and now it's really hard. Now it seems like it's really hard to trust him. And, that is honestly, it sucks. It's one of the reasons why people don't really talk or interact too much with people that are on the block because we never know what's going to happen next week, you know? But yeah, and also Cameron, you know, he was easy person to also throw up there. He was just on the block last week, you know. We kept you safe last week. I hope you trust that we'll keep you safe this week. And, you know, because everyone is pretty aware that Hisam is really a target, like, no one is really going to get blindsided beside Hisam. You know, if there's ever a week that you would want to be on the block, you know, sitting next to Hisam at the end of the week is
this
not
is the
the
week
worst
to
option.
do it.
Yeah.
So basically, Cam, easy option. He was on the block last week, and Jack, he's Riley's closest ally in the house still. So those were the options and why they were chosen.
Okay, so at this point, everyone, so with her deciding that she's going to put up Cameron and Jag on the block, Felicia also wants to cover her tracks. So she has one-on-one, and she lets pretty much the entire house know that Hisam is a target. Anyone that's on the block is a pawn. You know, he did too much last week, so it's time to get him out. But she doesn't tell everyone. She doesn't tell Red. Right? She doesn't tell Red because she's not sure where Red really aligns with Hisam. She's not sure if she does tell Red it's gonna get back to him, you know. And do you think that was like the best decision for her not to tell Red that she's she's gonna backdoor Hisam?
I think it was the best option for Felicia's game because her and Red aren't personally aligned. So her not telling Red isn't too far-fetched. But I think in terms of the professors and like who Felicia's aligned with, she probably should have told Red just out of respect of everybody, because you're going to tell the whole house but not tell me. Like, you're purposely leaving me out. So like,
especially when we're supposedly supposed to be working together, you know.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
You know, but honestly, it doesn't seem like it bothered Red that much. He kind of used it as an opportunity to be like, hey, I'm really close with Cameron. I love that he was able to trust me with this information. You know, I finally feel like I have somebody that I can really trust, because it didn't really, although Red was in the alliance, it didn't really seem like he had anyone that was like personally in his corner. So with him seeing that Hisam is going to be out, for him, this is a great opportunity to bring in Cameron into this alliance so that I can have my person to have my back. You know, so I do feel like Cameron letting Red know it did accomplish what he wanted to accomplish. He wanted to build more trust with Red, even more that they already had, and it seemed like that's how it went. But I will say that Red is also seeing, he's like, hey, you know, it's only week 2 and we're already going after our own alliance members, you know, like, it might be a dog eat dog world already. Like, we already got to, maybe I got to start reevaluating how much trust I'm putting into this alliance. All right, so in this veto competition, we have Red, Cameron, Felicia, Corey, Izzy, and Jag playing, with Cameron and Jag being the 2 people on the block. So in this veto competition, it's a competition we've seen before. They have to transport a dozen eggs from one side of the, I guess, their setup to the other side. In the middle is just like a gooey, disgusting kind of like river thing that they have to go under logs. It's pretty hard if you're not really. It's definitely a physical competition, which Miss Felicia did absolutely terrible.
She did absolutely bad, and it was so sad because poor girl had a whole brace on her knee after. I'm like, yo,
like, it's literally
Nacho got my mom out here.
It's like trying to like dive through slime that's like,
it's like honey
with glue.
It was like honey, like trying to maneuver like your whole body through honey. Like, that's crazy.
And it's like, man, they have to go back and forth literally 12 times because they can only bring one egg at a time, and like every time they're going underneath it, like they're like picking up their own body weight of honey-sized substance.
And Miss Felicia thought it was cute. And Miss Felicia thought it was cute to roll in it. Girl. Like, it was just so funny to watch her.
You really just see everyone climbing, you know, like da-da-da, and you just see her.
It was so bad.
But yes, in this competition, your boy was on the block, your boy just lost his ally, and your boy had to come through. And he did it well. So Jag wins this veto, obviously taking himself off the block. And with him coming off the block is exactly what the House wanted, and now they could fully go through with their backdoor and make Hisam the replacement nominee, which is exactly what he did. And as you can anticipate, all hell breaks loose. Take it away, Dory.
So this is where I kind of like was glued to the feeds. You know what I mean? Like, you know when you just, I was watching the feeds like, how am I gonna absorb all this information at once? Like, I felt like I was in the house. I was getting overwhelmed. Like, this is a lot going on. Okay, so basically after the veto ceremony, Hisam's backdoored. And what I like to say is, Hisam, you got pooched. Sorry, but you got pooched. Never feel confident in the Big Brother house to the point where you think you're not going to be a target, because you are. Like, you got pooched. I'm sorry.
It's just insane. Three competition wins, and you really don't think anyone is checking for you?
Within 3 weeks, that's crazy. But the feeds cut to Hisam in the kitchen with Suri, Izzy, and he's just flabbergasted by how things have just unfolded in the house, because he thinks people were scared to talk to him about how his behavior was the week before, and he feels like things just festered and resulted into this backdoor. Which is true. Had they spoken to Hisam, if they trusted him so well being in the professors, this probably would have been squashed, and they probably would have had some sort of understanding with Hisam. Still would have targeted him, but a backdoor would have never happened. Hisam was right about that. But he claims to have always been for the professors, and he didn't mean for any of this to happen. He then goes to apologize to Mimi about being too aggressive and everything like that. He says he's a good person and it wasn't his intention at all. But, you know, when you're on the block and you just get backdoored, you'll say anything to save yourself. So if he really had no intention about that, we don't know, but we'll see, I guess. So he feels like Izzy lied to him, because apparently him and Izzy had a final two, and this was confirmed by Izzy later in the week. But they had a final two, and Hisam just felt betrayed by, he felt betrayed by Izzy. Hisam then goes on later in the night to expose the professors to the other side of the house.
Honestly, with all the back and forth that happened last week, like, I thought it was already a known fact where everyone lied. But now that I really think about it, it was really only the handful that was exposed, and no one even thought to think about any other alliance. And it was just like, ooh, they have an alliance, let's take them apart. So
yeah, I think the thing
week, you think people already know.
Yeah, I think not. I think the thing is, they knew the house was split. They just didn't know where it was split. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't know who was aligned with who on the other side. They just knew there was another side. So Hisam naming the professors and throwing people under the bus for it, kind of crazy. But
we'll get bus.
Huh?
How he threw people under the bus?
He exposed who people were targeting. So it kind of just like put his back against the wall. You know, you got to do what you got to do. I think, I forgot who America was talking to, but she was basically saying, yeah, like, this whole backdoor makes good TV. Like, I know the live feeders are blowing up right now. And I was like, girl, we are. Because this is crazy. We have the Hisam fans going against the Suri fans. Like, why would Hisam do this? Like, da-da-da-da-da. And then we have the Suri fans like, yes, Hisam, speak. Give us more ammo so that we can get you out. Like, it was just a lot. Like, it was just crazy. So, America had a talk with Izzy. So this chat with Izzy and America went very well. America told Izzy what Hisam told her in regards to the professors, the conversation they had on the hammock, and everything like that. Izzy tried to justify as much as she could, but again, you know, Izzy can't tell her too much just yet because it's still early days in them trusting America.
Are people really not going to start targeting her? Like, she's really going to sit there nice and pretty?
I think so. I think so.
Wow.
I honestly think so. America is proving to be more valuable than we thought. So
Hmm.
we can
Honestly,
see
I wasn't really
how.
sure like where her positions would be because like it was like her and Blue where I'm like, okay, like where do you guys really fit in? You know, like are you right in the middle? Are you here? You know, so it's good to see her
Yeah.
actually gaining a solid position in the house.
Yeah, so I could kind of go into that now. So Izzy does have a chat with Sari and Corey and Felicia about America. It's mainly with Sari and Corey. Has a chat with them. Corey's like, listen, America's a lone wolf. She only really trusts me. She's cool with Cam. She's cool with Red. But in I've sat in these rooms with America, Matt, Cameron, Red, and nothing's happening. Like, no game is being talked. Nothing is interesting within that group. And Corey would sit with these groups for hours on end, like 5 hours, I think he said.
And that kind of makes sense a little bit to me because when you even think about it, the original alliance of the handful, they didn't just like, hey, you're a good da 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 player, I'm gonna work with you. It's just the fact that they were just all in a room together and was just like, hey, we love hanging out, let's just align together. So it doesn't seem like that side is really like picking strategic people, just like who do I kind of get along with. So it makes sense that it's not really a lot of game really being talked with them all the time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And Corey had to explain that to Sari and Izzy because the main thing this week with them, after Hisam was put up, was their paranoia. It was just like, why are you? Sorry, I thought there was something on my arm. Why are you so paranoid about the most insignificant people in this game? Like, you're sitting here worried about Matt. Like,
Hell, bro, hell.
I just don't get it. Bowie is the most clueless person in this game. Why is she even on your radar? Bowie will literally do anything you say. Like, Sari literally had a conversation with Bowie, and they were like, so who do you think you're gonna vote? And Bowie's like, I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Sari's like, I don't know. And then Bowie's like, well, that's why I'm here. I don't know. I'm trying to see where you guys are at. And then Sari's like, oh, I'm
Just like
saying I
tell
don't
me.
know because you're saying I don't know. So I'm trying to see where your head's at for real because you don't talk game. And I'm like, Sari? Like, Jesus.
Like, why
God
are you
damn.
even here?
Like, okay, call her
No, she
out.
got a point though. Like, I hate when I see somebody just like, okay, there's floating because like it's an actual gameplay behind it, and like you want to lay low, and there's a floating where you have absolutely no idea what's going on, and you're so unimportant that people just forget you're there, and that's why you're not targeted. And that is
And
definitely
that's
Bowie.
Bowie. That's literally Bowie. So, yeah. So then, ooh, ooh, my computer froze. So, I had one thing to note. Um, Prior to America being initiated into this alliance with Corey, Sari, Izzy, Corey, Jared, and Izzy had a conversation where they basically talk about how reckless America is. Corey feels that America is very cagey. She keeps a lot to herself, and that's what everybody in the house. So they don't really know how much they can trust her. But Corey has a separate conversation with America where he's basically like, hey, listen, like, where do you fall in this game? Who are you aligned with? America's like, I really only trust you. You're the only one who offers game information to me. You're the only one who speaks game to me in a capacity where, like, we can maybe work together kind of thing. So it's really just you. So that gave Corey, like, the green light. Like, all right, America could let her guard down with me. So let me offer up this information, see how she responds. So he basically throws it out there. America's like, yeah, they create a final two. which I love for
Corey
Corey.
in America.
Corey and America make a final two in that conversation.
So at this point, because just even listening to you, let's make sure our viewers aren't confused on who's even aligning together, because it seems like there's a lot of additions, there's a lot going on. So we have a lot of alliances, we have a lot of sub alliances, we have a lot that aren't real, we have a lot that's including the same people over and over again and just add an extension. So walk us through like the three top alliances, because I believe we have the Bye Bye Bitches, right? Let's reiterate for anyone that didn't see from week 2. We had the Bye Bye Bitches.
Yeah, so we have the Bye Bye Bitches, who are Felicia, Bowie, Mimi, Izzy, and Suri. Then we have the For Real, which was
Suri, Izzy, Jared.
No, so we have the For Real, which was an alliance created post Hisam. Well, post Hisam being on the block. It's Suri, Izzy, Jared, Mimi, Felicia, America, and Corey. This is what Corey was getting America into. And that's why that conversation was had.
Like the alliance is really going to have the votes, maybe probably stay solid for now until we get later down the road, right? Yes. So basically, this is the alliance to watch.
Yeah.
Got it.
And the main inspiration for America being even brought in, America was the only outlier between the two sides of the house, right? So they needed her in case they flipped on Hisam to keep him. They needed America's vote for Hisam so that they can blindside the other people and keep Hisam in the house. So that's why they brought in America. But ultimately, they know that they can trust her to a certain extent, so they kept her and brought her in.
Then we have, let's keep our eye out for them.
Yeah, we'll be on the lookout for this alliance, see how it plays out. But then we have the Crossroads, which is a 4-person alliance of Corey, Suri, Izzy, Jared. And this is what, if you remember from last week, I told you that Corey did very well in maneuvering himself into the game with Suri, and this is the alliance that formed from that. So that seems
like a solid Final Four.
Yeah, that is a solid Final Four, and that's why I love the fact that Corey brought America into a Final 2, because if the secret comes out that Suri and Jared are related, and Corey starts to fill on the outs, he has something to fall back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's that. And then we have the obvious Final 3, Suri, Izzy, and Jared, and then Suri and Jared with being a Final 2. And I honestly think it's kind of weird.
We also do, Miss Felicia does also believe that, not knowing about Jared, she does also believe that Suri is her Final 2, right? Because they are very close in the house. So I'm not going to call that a fake Final 2, because I do think that if something happens and Jared gets evicted before his mom, Cherie, that I do think that she will take that Final 2 Miss Felicia seriously. So it's a let's see how the rest of the weeks go type of thing with them.
Yeah, it's a let's see kind of situation. Yeah, it's a let's see kind of situation, but I do think it's interesting that Suri and Izzy don't have a Final 2.
I mean, and then that also, I guess that explains a little bit why, Izzy might have went to Hisam as a Final 2, because like who could she really gone to,
Yeah. I need Izzy to make a Final 2, because right now
who do you think would, like, best case scenario, based on how everyone's moving in the house, like for her game, what do you think would be the best Final 2 for her?
Corey?
But what about Corey in America, though? Do you think Corey more lean to America or Izzy?
He'll have a better case against America. But in terms of allegiance, he'll get further with Izzy.
I think it's way too early to say who's going to win, because it's only week 3. You're saying these people might dominate now, but who knows what's going on right now? I don't think anyone.
Yeah, I think for right now, everybody in Suri's circle is sitting pretty. But I think moving forward, because Jerry is in a week after this eviction, it's Jerry, I believe. Either a week or 2. Don't quote me,
Yeah.
but
Well,
jury is very
we
soon.
do have more house guests, so let's fact check that because we do have more
Yeah.
house guests than we usually
No,
do.
because
And
in the house this week, they've been saying that jury is in 2 weeks. So,
got you.
jury is pretty soon. So these people will definitely have a leg in the finale. I think Izzy needs to lock up a final two as soon as possible, and I think it needs to be Corey. That's the only person that can get her far in this game.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah. So
But
basically, to
yeah,
sum up the entire veto aftermath, we have conversations amongst everybody. I think the biggest takeaway is the fact that America got pulled into Cerie's circle. So now she's in an alliance, actually, with Cerie, Izzy, Mimi, Felicia, Corey, Jared. She has a final two now, which solidifies America into this game. She's not going
yes,
anywhere
we
for
have
the
a
next
solid
couple
spot,
weeks.
you know.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
America's
But
not going anywhere. So, Hisam had a conversation with Jared in where he told Jared that he would never trust that side of the house, that side being Cerie, Felicia, Izzy, like the professors. He would never trust them, and if he were to stay in the house, they would be his targets. But then Hisam was going around literally telling everybody in the house, if whoever keeps me, whichever side that may be, I'll be loyal to you. And then Hisam has that conversation with Felicia, Cerie, Izzy in the HOH room that we saw in the episode. And he's like,
mm-hmm.
like, I'll be loyal to you guys if you guys keep me, and da da da. And I thought the biggest takeaway from that conversation was as soon as he walked out that door, the first thing Izzy said was Hisam's being genuine. You notice how he didn't say right at all in that conversation. And when Hisam
Mm-hmm.
says right, that means he's pushing an idea onto that person he's talking to. So Hisam not saying right genuinely means that he is serious about what he's saying.
Are you for real right
Yeah.
now?
So she's like, we need to figure this out. We need to see if this is something we need to do. But Corey was not having it. When I tell you, Corey and Jared were like, Hisam cannot
Yeah,
stay in this
okay,
house.
so
Like,
at this point, you know, some members of the alliance are starting to believe that he might actually be genuine from these conversations. And, you know, is this the moment where like we had the possibility of maybe keeping Hisam? You know, right? You know, they were really, you know, believing everything he was saying.
yeah. And Corey was not having that at all. He was like, it's not smart. Hisam's not going to lay low if you keep him in this house. He's going to be gunning. Had Hisam
Mm-hmm.
played in that HOH, he probably would have won the pressure cooker as well. Like, Hisam
Yeah.
is very strong in competitions, so keeping him is not going to make the most sense. And then, if we keep him on top of that, more in we're just making more direct enemies with the other side of the
Yeah.
house, because now we lied to Jag, we lied to Matt, we lied to Blue.
Yeah. This is not
Like,
like you told the
we're
entire
just gonna
house that he was
expose
part.
ourselves and show our hand. So
Yeah.
it made no sense keeping Hisam. So
With that, Hisam is the third person evicted from Big Brother 25 and the
yep.
third person to be evicted unanimously, which is annoying as shit because I'm tired of these unanimous votes. We need to switch it up, which I highly doubt that we'll have yet, but that
We'll see.
was, yeah. What I will say though for Miss Felicia's HOH, I do think this is the first time where it's gonna stop. I don't think she did anything this week that should have her targeted because although she won this competition, she showed in the veto, like we said, that she's not necessarily this big comp beast that you have to look out for. So I will say all in all that her HOH was very successful. Everything went how it was supposed to do. There isn't really any backlash that fell on her, and I really don't see this HOH affecting her this week like it did with week one Riley and Hisam just now. So that's pretty good on her part, you know.
Yeah, very good. I don't see Felicia getting targeted anywhere. People like her.
Yeah.
It was
And
really
that
just Hisam.
and the thing about that veto that she won, it was just like it's skill, but it's kind of luck. Like someone can win a competition like that and not be targeted. And some people came close. It's not like she blew them out the water. There's a few people that came close behind her, so that was good for her.
Yeah.
But so after this week, where does your top 5 now place from last week? I know you said like a lot of them are still still the same as last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cerise still number 1. She's paranoid, and it's annoying because Izzy feeds it as well. But she needs Jared and Corey to like level her out, but
Yeah.
all in all, I still think Cerie's the top dog. People trust her like no tomorrow, and I'm so confused. Like, if Cerie puts on her sunglasses, just know she don't trust you. Just know that. Cerie don't trust anything in that conversation she having with them sunglasses on. Okay?
Because her eyes probably bugging. You could probably see exactly what she's thinking in her eyes.
Yes. The same way Hisam says right when he's forcing information is the same way Cerie put them sunglasses on when Red woke in the room, when Cam woke in the room, when Blue woke in the room. Like, she don't trust you. But Cerie, for obvious reasons, still number 1. Corey is my number 2. I just love that boy. Corey is so smart. He just sees things that these people cannot see. And it just boggles me that he's the youngest one in this house outplaying people like Izzy and Cerie at moments. Like, it's honestly insane. But Corey is number 2. I see him going very far in this game. Izzy is number 3. She's paranoid. And it's not a good look on her. Okay? And then on top of that, she just be talking. She just be in everyone's face. Like, you don't need to find all these things out. Like, there's a moment when she was in the bathroom with Blue, Jag, America, Matt, and she was just standing there, just watching them, just talking about nonsense. And she goes back up to the HOH room and she's like, I just stood there for 3 hours just to see what these guys would talk about, and they're not talking about anything. So do you think that they're really working together? I think they're really working together, because why haven't they said anything? It was like they wanted me to get out, but they were trying not to tell me to get out. So I just planted myself there, and I was like, we don't care, Izzy. No one in this house likes you outside of your alliance. So don't feel like, you're a part of the big crew. You're not going to get targeted, because let somebody like Cam get HOH. Let somebody like Matt get HOH. You're not lasting in that house. Sorry. Like, you may have the votes, but it would be such a bad game move if anybody voted anyone out against Izzy. Like, you're good, but you're too paranoid. You're such a wild card. You be flip-flopping every single day. Like, pick one. It's getting exhausting just watching you. Imagine being in the house with Izzy. I can't. But anyways, enough of her. Felicia's number 4. And I'm going to keep her there because I've learned this from Felicia this week. She's very blinded by emotion. If she'll let how she feels about somebody overtake her gameplay. And I don't like that for her, because that's her weak spot. If somebody finds that and takes advantage of it, she's going to be going home. So Felicia is still perfectly aligned, but she needs to focus more on game and not how she feels about people in the house. Because she was ready to send Cameron home 3 hours before eviction because Cam didn't pack his bag. So you mean to tell me you're going to try and flip this whole house again because Cameron didn't pack his bag? Be for real.
That is a little cocky, though. Like, I get it, but, like, you're doing too much still. Yeah, I definitely agree with you because Felicia and Izzy is also in my top five. But like, I am definitely worried that their emotions are definitely going to affect their game. And I also very much think that Suri, for right now, she's very much running this house. Everyone wants to work with her. Everyone seems to listen to her. But I still believe that at one point they're gonna realize, like truly realize, like the type of game player she is, and she is gonna get targeted soon. So although she is in my top five, like I don't know how far she's gonna go, but at the same time, I don't want to underestimate her gameplay. It really could be great. But for me, the only difference between my list and yours is Mimi. Mimi is not, she's really in the background right now, but I definitely feel like I love the game that she's playing. Like for me, it's like she's like my silent assassin. Like that's what I call her. Like she's very much in groups that she needs to be in. She's in the conversation that she needs to be in. I do definitely feel like she could be a very good, competitive player, but she's also laying low. She's not doing too much. She's not, getting in too much drama. If anything, these people are annoying the frick out of Mimi, and it is just hilarious to watch. But as far as that, and for me, I also had Corey. I was definitely worried about Corey after week two because it seemed like a lot of people were just like willing to like throw him on the block or just like not really like care too much to protect him. But he's definitely doing a good job of aligning himself with who he needs to align with in this game right now. But as far as giving them one through five, I don't have that yet. For me, these are just kind of players to watch because I feel like they all play very different games, and like the styles that they play, it could both be beneficial or put them at risk. But for now, those are the players that I'm watching. My favorite is definitely Mimi. I'm definitely rooting for her, and I see her doing very well within the upcoming weeks because I really don't see anyone looking to target her right now at all. And there really isn't any reason to because there's way bigger fish to fry, which is what you always want. You always want targets bigger than you in this house. All right, guys, this is it for this week's episode on week 3 of Big Brother. Stay tuned for next week. Our thoughts. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, let you know how we feel, and stay connected to us through all of our social medias. They will be in the link in this video, and we'll see y'all next week.